Care to nourish, dare to flourish.
So you are telling our people, please be creative.
Correct.
Think out of box.
Correct.
What do you want to do, to actually push our value creation into the companies and stuff
in
like
order
that.
to bloom, right?
Correct.
I love that.
We now realize the importance of purpose within a very diverse organization like ours.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to know what we are working towards, and that is what this purpose statement is trying to do.
Hi everyone, we're back again with another podcast by GRADUAN, and today we'll be having another guest, Shahrizan from Sime Darby Oils. So could you please introduce yourself a little bit and what Sime Darby Oils does?
Hi, I'm Shahrizan, Head of Human Resource and Corporate Services. Sime Darby Oils is actually the downstream of Sime Darby Plantation. So if you think of Sime Darby Plantation as the estate that actually does the planting, we are the moment the oil comes out, it goes to the factory, it goes through the logistics and trading and sales and right down to the customers. So we are actually the people who actually bring the product to the customers. That's right.
Okay, perfect. I mean, if we didn't know that, at least now we do, right? What Sime Darby Oils is.
Yes.
Because people would think it's just a plantation
Correct.
and no oils can.
Correct.
Okay. So today we'll be talking about creating a culture of belonging, fostering inclusion in the workplace, which is a very, very, I would say it's a very interesting topic because people would think it's a norm, but they don't know how it became a norm.
Yeah.
Right? So my first question is, could you provide an overview of what Sime Darby Oils has done when it comes to creating a culture of belonging and fostering inclusion in the workplace?
Yeah. So what we do first is, first and foremost, we know that when you want a culture of belonging, you have to think as one.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
So what we do first is we use the same Sime Darby Oils name for all our refineries, for all our business units. We have business units in 12 countries, and everyone has a prefix of Sime Darby Oils. So it's either Sime Darby Oils Langat or Sime Darby Oils Liverpool in UK and stuff like that.
So at least it's all standardized.
Yeah. So everyone has the same
Same.
name. So you know that you are Sime Darby Oils.
Yeah.
And then we also use the same policy.
Okay.
We have common work shirts. And we have common teams, and everything is taken as one. So the policy is the same. We speak the same language. We have the same purpose, and that creates a sense of belonging to the company, I feel.
Right. It kind of avoids the biasness of like certain colors or certain things.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And the other thing that we also did is because we realized much earlier than the pandemic, the need to be one.
Right.
So we actually embarked on a culture of transformation.
Okay, so what is this culture of transformation?
Yeah, so culture of transformation is actually putting we realized that we cannot work in a bubble. Right?
Of course.
Everyone has to be one if you want to be effective and productive. And we actually sat down, we worked with a consultant who actually took a whole year to listen to various stakeholders in our organization, from the top down to the very bottom.
1 whole year.
1 whole year to listen to what they have to say. And we actually incorporate that into a framework. So what they want, what they feel is the right culture to have. And we put everything together and form a framework. And now we are at the implementation phase.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
so for example, one of the core value is respect.
Okay.
So you have to respect the person enough for them to actually be able to say what they want, to give feedback, and create a safe space within the organization.
Yeah, having the safe space is very, very important because, I mean, it gives you the kind of like the freedom of speech, at least, you know? Okay. So are there any specific examples of like programs that Sime Darby Oils has implemented to promote diversity and inclusion?
Yeah, a very clear example is our own policy. We don't differentiate nationalities.
Right.
We don't differentiate gender. So if you look at our Sime Darby All's MD, managing directors, the direct reports to him consists of people from different nationalities. You could be
Okay.
sitting in in Netherlands
Right.
as head of our Europe Africa, or you have our head APAC who's from Thailand. You have our head of global trading who's from India. So we are actually very multicultural. Yes, and that is one. Everyone has a chance to actually move up. We create fair treatment, and the other thing that I can think of is rotation.
Okay.
We actually,
could you explain more?
during our culture, during our talent succession management, we actually do a rotation basis where if you're an engineer in Malaysia, you could actually be moved to be working in UK, for example.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and by living in a different country, you actually incorporate the culture and you actually have the respect for how they do things and the way they actually conduct themselves.
Okay, fair enough. Like in order to adapt, you kind of have to learn more on how that situation or that
nothing
place
better
does.
than living the culture, right?
Correct,
Yes.
correct. You
That's
wouldn't
right.
want to be the odd one out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really great. Do you have any stories of employees who have been positively impacted by all these programs that Sime Darby Oils has done?
Yeah, so I would like to bring us to our program. So we have this
Okay.
program called Graduate Accelerated Program.
Okay,
It's
the GAP.
actually an accelerated program. I mean, as the name says, right? It's actually an accelerated
The fast
program for
track.
graduates.
Okay, yeah.
Fast pathway.
Uh-uh.
And it's an international program. So it's a 2-year program. So for the first year, we actually bring the international graduates to Malaysia.
Okay.
And they come and work here for a year. And they had their challenges when they first arrived.
Of course,
but by the
understandable.
time they went back, they were already eating durians.
Oh,
They were speaking in the La language,
Yeah,
and they didn't want to go back.
Yeah,
so
fair
that is diversity and inclusion.
Correct.
If in its
Purest form, yeah.
Correct.
That's true. So how long is this GAP program usually?
The GAP program is for 2 years.
2 years. So
Yeah.
they spend the first year here,
Yeah.
and
So,
then the
yeah.
remaining one back in
Correct.
the country.
Correct.
Okay, that's very interesting. So
It is. We are now in the cohort 4.
Okay.
And it's really gaining popularity. In the sense that our last one, we had 8,000 applicants.
oh wow.
Yeah.
So how many GAPpies do you take in a cohort?
Not more than 15. The last batch was 12.
Internationally.
Correct. Yes.
How do you sieve through? How do you filter through the candidates?
Well, everyone that we filter through will have good result already,
Definitely,
apparently, right?
definitely.
Because these are the
8,000
cream
to
of the
12.
cream.
That's
This is the cream of the cream. But,
Yeah, of course.
But the program is actually skewed towards manufacturing, trading, and sales.
Okay.
So you can be of any field.
Background,
You might graduate from any field.
Okay.
But what's important is you have the right fit to our culture.
Understood.
Yes, and true to this subject that we're talking about, diversity, equity, and inclusion is actually very core in our culture.
Right. Because
Yes.
I think I met one of the GAPpies in one of our last videos, and yeah, most of them were international
Yes. Correct.
candidates.
Yeah, maybe Shante from South Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
So she's back in South Africa now.
Okay.
She was the one who was hoping that
She could stay?
stay back.
Understandable.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean,
but being in
it's
Sime
far,
Darby
uh-uh.
Alls, the opportunity might arise. She
Definitely.
might get more
Absorbed
experience
into-
and
yeah.
get to come back to Malaysia to work in one of our refineries.
Okay.
So we are very fluid in that sense.
Oh, that's great. So even if you're not from Malaysia and you have you would want to work with the Sime Darby Oils here, you could definitely do so. There's
Yes,
like
we do that a lot.
Okay.
We have this mobility program.
Okay.
And a lot of our GAPpies are all over the world. Some are in PNG, Papua New Guinea,
Wow.
Thailand, Europe.
That's
So,
interesting.
yes.
That's very, very
Yes.
interesting.
That's right.
That's great. Okay, so in the spirit of inclusion, what are like some of the creative ways that Sime Darby Oils celebrates different cultural holidays or observances? Observances within the company.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're talking about, say, we take Christmas for example.
right.
Yeah?
Yes.
So what we do, we have been doing this for many years now.
Okay.
So each of the refineries, remember we got 12. operations, right?
Yeah.
And each of the refineries will actually send their videos. So they will have from their leader right to the people on the plant, maybe wearing the Christmas cap or the attire and all, and doing a video.
Okay.
And we will actually take that, and our corporate services team will actually incorporate that into, we will consolidate that into one video. And that will be shared with everyone, and they are very happy to see their colleagues. And even though some of us don't celebrate Christmas, but everyone joins in.
Yeah, it's the joy of like the festivities, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's beautiful. I love that. I've never heard of that, but that's great. So in a way, it's like a montage and like of everybody, and then especially if they're like from different, for example, they're away from home, it would be great to see them again, kan?
Correct.
Okay. So how do you encourage employees to support and learn from one another?
Well, we do have many WhatsApps.
Okay, yeah.
So you have groups, various groups. If you are in manufacturing, you have manufacturing group who actually share their experiences because we are quite well spread, and we do have knowledge sharing sessions.
Okay.
So
could you explain more on
pandemic,
that?
One thing that pandemic taught us is the power of communication, even though you're far.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean,
you could be close just by going on the Zoom or Teams, and you could have a conversation. And we do a lot of knowledge sharing. So the SME, the subject matter experts, will actually talk about maybe their experience at their refinery, and we have another SME at the other refinery coming in, sharing what are the challenges and what are the best practices.
Yeah, who else would be better to speak on these things other than someone who actually went through it, right?
Yes.
And logically, we're humans and we're social creatures, so eventually communication is key, or else you can't really get to the other side of the grass. Okay. So do you have any future initiatives that Sime Darby Oils have in order to like enhance the culture of belonging?
Yeah, so
upcoming projects maybe?
Yeah, so I was mentioning about the culture of care. We have a total framework of that where we have the
framework.
We have the key behaviorals. I mean, these are what we aspire to be as Sime Darby Oils, right? So we are actually implementing this in stages. So for example, you learn to be enterprising. So we bring that, we bring all the team together, be it you are in South Africa or you are in Europe, you actually come together in one platform and discuss about what it takes to be enterprising within Sime Darby Oils.
Okay.
So yeah, so that is something which is continuous that we are doing within Sime Darby Oils.
So this framework, it's currently being in the implementation.
It's in implementation phase.
Okay. So how long? Do you know how long it's gonna take, and how many like key framework?
We have a lot. I mean, we have 4 key core values, and for each of that, we actually break down into what are the key behaviorals for maybe 5 behaviorals for each of the core values. So we have 20, right? We have 20, and for each of these, we actually have workshops. We go into workshops and say, okay, this is what we aspire to do. We aspire to be more communicative. We aspire to tell you if we feel that you are not right.
Correct. So you shouldn't be afraid to,
you shouldn't be afraid.
Or else how would somebody learn?
Yes.
Correct.
So those are actually being put into workshops.
Okay.
And we actually taught on how you can actually do it in a respectful manner.
Fair enough.
Right? We have our code of business conduct where you need to be respectful.
Of course.
You need to know how to do things in the right way. So it's actually being tutored in a sense.
Okay. So is it like a mentor-mentee punya program?
Or mentor-mentee is a DNA within our organization.
Okay.
So for example, the GAP program, they are being mentored from the first day they come in. We do have another program where our high posts are actually being mentored by the senior management, and it's cross country, cross businesses.
Okay.
So that gives you a better understanding and appreciation of different cultures.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I'm very excited about is our purpose.
Okay.
So we have
anything new?
Sime Darby Plantation. You know that we are a subsidiary of Sime Darby Plantation,
correct?
Right? So we are very focused in refreshing our purpose. So we have come up with a purpose which is called Care to Nourish, Dare to Flourish.
Okay,
I think
what was it again?
Care to nourish, dare to flourish.
Okay, okay.
So to us, that is very true to our business,
Correct.
be it upstream or downstream.
Okay.
And as Sime Darby Oils, we now have a purpose that we can work towards.
Okay,
we
betul.
believe that everyone has this objective that could be incorporated into a strategic direction, one strategic direction that we can push through to all our strategies. So,
Understood. So that's like the core of
that's
everything.
our core for everything. So it's very interesting, and I think it's a very strong statement.
Yeah,
which
it is.
Yeah.
Care to nourish, dare to flourish.
So you are telling our people, please be creative.
Correct.
Think out of box.
Correct.
What do you want to do? To actually push our value creation into the companies and stuff.
In
like
order
that.
to bloom, right?
Correct.
I love that. Okay, so is this a new purpose that
It's
you
a new
just
purpose. It's a
instilled?
refreshed purpose. Previously, very long statement.
Longer? Okay.
Most people can't remember what it is.
Understood. So it's harder to incorporate.
So we now realize the importance of purpose within a very diverse organization like ours.
Yep.
Everyone needs to know what we are working towards, and that is what this purpose statement is trying to do.
Okay, and it definitely does its work because
Yes,
it's a really
it
nice
is.
statement.
Yes,
I love
correct.
that. Okay, so I know that Sime Darby Oils is involved in the agriculture and sustainability sectors. So how does your commitment to sustainable practices intersect with your inclusion efforts? How does it reinforce one another?
We are these two actually co-relate.
Yeah, definitely.
So you need, if you're talking about labor practices, it has you have a set of labor practices that's being told that you need to do, and of course we need to live by it.
Correct.
So by being under Sime Darby Plantation, which talks about sustainability, we are also talking about net zero. We are talking about reduction of carbon footprint.
Correct.
And all those activities are actually being done by Sime Darby Oils. For example, used cooking oil.
Right.
Right? We have a program of used cooking oil that we actually take in your used cooking oil, we pay you for it.
Okay.
We pay you some money for it, and it doesn't go into the drain. It doesn't clog our drains.
Okay,
and it's
yeah.
a good
I've always wanted
recycle program.
Yeah. So how do you do that? I'm actually genuinely intrigued to know more because I've always wondered, what do I do with used cooking oil?
We actually have a schedule actually.
Okay.
So there will be some places that you can where we collect oil. You can actually make some money out of it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because we use oil every day. Imagine the amount of used oil you simpan and then
and this
give it
oil
back.
is actually being recycled into energy. So you use it for our
perfect.
biodiesel industry,
Okay.
and it's being cycled for energy.
That's great.
So we do have a lot of that kind of programs. I'll just the other example would be our Sime Darby Oils Morocco in Thailand.
Okay.
They actually use the resin from plastic, right? And actually produce our corporate shirts, our corporate T-shirt with it.
So at least the plastic that we're using is like being reused, right?
Yes. And the other thing is we are very much into mental wellness within Sime Darby Oils.
Okay.
So we practice work from home even now. We are very flexible.
So it's a hybrid working arrangement.
So by doing that, you don't waste time, you don't have much stress, and you reduce the carbon footprint as well because you don't travel to work.
Correct.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so how long has this hybrid working arrangement been implemented? Since MCO?
Yeah,
It started because of MCO?
Yeah, so in Sime Darby Oils, we are a bit advanced. So it started during MCO, yes, but within the first phase of that COVID phase, I mean, we were in various
when everybody was
right?
shocked,
Yeah. We realized that we could be productive even from home.
Correct.
We were doing a lot of calls.
Correct.
We were working even. In fact, we were even more
better,
productive, I would say, because we are in the food and industry business when we were necessity. So we had to work, even though we are working from home, you know. And immediately after we came back from that, we had 2 floors. For example, Sime Darby Oils had 2 floors.
Okay.
we became one floor. So we reduced the workspace into 50%.
Okay.
And this continues until now. So we are now doing our working from home. We are mature adults.
Of course. You
And,
have to instill trust.
We trust our people.
Correct.
As long as we have the key deliverables that they are able to hand in. We are quite flexible in that sense.
That's great. I feel like the first thing, the most important thing when it comes to working from home is the trust.
Correct.
And being reliable.
Yes.
You know, or else everybody would just be missing. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really, really great. And at least by the time everybody comes in, it's like better because you get to finally see the people in person, you know?
That's right.
Okay. So finally, we're on to the last question. What is the one message or one key takeaway that you would like our audience to remember about fostering inclusion in the workplace, especially based on your experience here at Sime Darby Oils?
Yeah. So we have been speaking a lot about diversity and
Correct.
inclusion in the past, 10, 15 minutes. So Sime Darby Oils, I cannot reiterate enough how we value diversity, how we try to include everyone within our community, and most importantly, we try as much as possible to create this organization to be a safe space for everyone to actually be able to speak without being afraid.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least you, the people in Sime Darby Oils have a safe space, and then they could also not feel afraid to speak out any about anything at all.
And we believe by bringing in diversity, we are being more productive. People are more creative. I mean, different people have different ways of looking at things.
So at least you have more than just 2-3 angles. Now you have 10 times 10.
And even we are essentially a plantation company.
Correct.
We are actually very modern. We are into robotics. We are into innovation.
I mean, this modern world, right?
We are into
changing.
digital.
Okay.
And by bringing in people from various stakeholders into one place and being able to communicate and discuss, we are actually bringing in a lot of power, energy, and wonderful ideas into the same platform. So that is what Sime Darby Oils is all about. We are very global in the sense, even though we are a Malaysian company.
Understood. So Sime Darby Oils itself is from Malaysia, correct?
It's from Malaysia, but the company is incorporated in Singapore because we are a trading company essentially, and our trading office is in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
But we are 100% Sime Darby Plantations subsidiary.
Yes, understood. Right. Okay, so we have come to the end of our podcast. If you love hearing Puan Shahrizan speak, you can catch her at Aspire Plus conference on the 25th of November. She'll be speaking on the same topic. So feel free to know more and get more insights, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much, Puan Shahrizan.
Thank you for having me.
No worries, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.